You know what's really fascinating about little kids? It's that their brains are like little sponges. From the time that they are born to around 6 months, their brains reach about half its mature weight, and by the age of 8, it's about 90% of its full weight. Humans are one of the very few creatures on this planet that have such a large brain at birth. It's why childbirth is so painful and difficult. I mean, in the years before modern day science, women died quite often in childbirth. Hell, women in Sparta were honored as warriors if they died in childbirth with grave inscriptions. That's how serious this process was. And it's all because of that damn stupid brain. Now, by the time of birth to about 1 month, their brains can only make basic distinctions in vision, hearing, smelling, touch, temperature, tasting, and pain. They are absolutely helpless, asocial, and in constant need of being fed by their mother. Of course, the brain does develop in the passing months by recognizing the mother, being able to smile, distinguishes between familiar people and strangers, learning one's name, speech, walking, and a very limited array of commands. Around 2 to 3 years, a child's brain has grown significantly and a personality begins to show. However, the child does not have the ability of making decisions. 3 to 4 years, it begins to identify with the same-sex parent and practices sex role activities. And 4 to 5 years prefers sex-appropriate activities. In the years of 4 to 7, speech becomes more social and the child has some sort of grasp of logical concepts in some areas. However, they are crude and sometimes irreversible. There is not a firm grasp of reality and perceptions are dominant over judgment. Children are not able to understand principles of how to act properly, which is why this is the best time to teach children and the worst time for people who hate bratty kids because they're not fucking taught decent manners. It's the reason why I don't actually really bite my nails. When I was around 6 years old, my mom beat it into my head that I wouldn't be able to wear nail polish if I didn't stop biting my nails. Needless to say, it worked quite well. Which is why I have a big problem with this channel.
And today we're talking about feminism.
We all are part of one big family. Gaming's happy. Queer kid stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff.
I'm a little bummed out because I've actually known about this channel for about a month, and then bam, everyone did a video about it, and now I am. Goddamn school. Now, the reason why I have a problem with this channel is because it's teaching children the terminology of identity culture, which children are going to be so confused about. They don't have a grasp of how romantic and sexual relationships are formed. Hell, I'm pretty sure that they're still eating glue at that age.
Horses with horns are called unicorns. Some other horses shout, 'cause unicorns stand out. But unicorns never fear when horses call them queer. 'Cause queer means different. Queer means different. And being different is what makes you you. And me. And even you.
I do like how she makes the symbol of queer people a non-real creature. Queers are like unicorns, they're non-existent. Just like Scotland. Or Scotland queer too. You know, it's one of those two.
But Lindsay, I still don't know if I'm a boy or a girl.
Well, Teddy, did you know that some people aren't boys or girls? Some people are boys, some people are girls, and some people are people.
Lindsay, there are 2 genders, female and male. What you're referring to is intersex. Intersex people are not a different gender, but a combination of both. Now, the measurement of what an intersex person is completely different in each case. And there's quite a lot of people that don't actually realize that they're intersex. It's such a rarity that only about 1% of the population are actually intersex. And it's such an already difficult concept to fully understand. Children are definitely not going to understand this. Sure, if a child decides to bring it up, it can possibly be discussed, but stating that it is not a gender is not factual.
Then how can I tell who is what gender?
The question of 2016, ladies and gentlemen, asked by a teddy bear.
That's Actually, really easy, Teddy. All you have to do is ask someone what their pronoun is.
Hey, remember when I said that young kids don't have a great grasp of reality or the ability to make complex decisions? It's basically why your kid eats mud and swallows plastic toys. The fact that this show seems very similar to Sesame Street, I can only assume that Lindsay's target audience is around the ages of 4 to 7. You know that age group where kids' grasp of reality sucks? Well, congratulations, your child's pronouns are unicorn, and they hail from the mystical lands known as the Highlands. See, this is why kids don't make life decisions.
Our country was founded in 1776, but did you know that girls weren't allowed to vote for president until 1920? That's 150 years boys could vote.
Well, I do have to agree with her that it does suck that women were not originally allowed to vote. Many men were not also allowed to vote. It was only white men who owned land originally, so not every man was able to vote before laws were changed. But no one's going to say that, are they?
Where feminism comes from. Rosie the Riveter actually comes from a time when girls were finally allowed to have jobs that only boys had.
I do actually own a Rosie the Riveter plaque, and it's hanging up on my wall. I do keep it as a token that if I work hard enough, I can do whatever I hope to achieve. That being said, women had to take those jobs that men originally worked for because the men were being drafted in World War II. Are we not going to include this? Is it not that important? Going to teach little boys that since girls had the ability to vote, they still don't have to sign up for the draft, unlike you guys? No? Okay, here's your prize for the ability to vote, boys.
Incoming!
Wow, that seems sort of unfair.
That's why we need feminism and feminists. Because feminism is the belief that boys and girls should be treated as equals.
I believe that.
Then you're a feminist, Teddy.
What happened to just teaching kids to be nice and to share? Don't pull little girls' hair or push boys off of swing sets. Why does it need to be political in kindergarten? I wouldn't want my child to be taught any of this. Not just the idea that my child can choose to be a fucking Pokemon if they wanted to, or that you're a feminist because I told you to, but that for some reason you're comparing fruit to sexuality and teaching it to my child.
Today we are talking about the second letter, B. B stands for bisexual.
That's so cool. That's a lot of people to love.
Yeah, being bisexual is awesome. Okay, let's think about it this way, Teddy. You love eating apples and bananas, right?
Those are my favorites.
Okay, so imagine you're eating an apple. While you're eating that apple, do you still love bananas?
Of course.
Well, it's exactly the same as being bisexual.
A young child does not have any grasp of how sexual relationships work. They are not queer or even straight. Kids are just adorable, and they love and hate weird things. And they come up with really disturbing ideas. You know, like little cousins saying that they're going to marry one another because they love each other? Yeah, well, kids love everything and would willingly marry anything that they could. They don't have any grasp of how reality actually works, and most kids are not going to be able to understand sex until puberty, which I'm going to assume most kids at that age are not watching this show. Like I said with my nails, around this age, ideas stick to kids. Their brains are absorbing information, and it should be decent information. Sure, Lindsay might possibly be a decent person trying to do what she thinks is the right thing, but I just honestly don't see how teaching young children any of this is going to help them. Though on further notice, she made a video about activism, and this was in the book she was reading.
J.
Stay away from any future kids I have.